So now that we have all the proper tools, let's talk about habits. Habits will make or break you in this career. The reason why I live like a movie star is because I have a really good successful habits. There are a lot of books and seminars on this topic of habits. We don't have time to go over that, so we're just going to go over and focus on the habits that are that pertain to the leasing game. So let's go through all of those habits. By the way, I should also state that I'm always working on improving my good habits and getting rid of my bad habits. So throughout your whole life, you're always going to be working on those habits, whether they're good or bad. You're always going to be improving your game so that you're more successful. Your environment is a reflection of your successful habits. A consistent work habit is a very rare thing in this business. Most real estate agents don't have a consistent work habit. And I would say they're probably because they are inundated with all these distractions of friends and family that want to take up their time. A lot of your friends and family believe that you have nothing but time on your hands. And this is going to be a very hard thing for most people to do in developing a successful work habit. Now, if you're lucky, you just came from the salt mine and you're used to working all the time. So then one of the reasons why a lot of new agents are more successful than experienced agents is because new agents have really good work habits. So when I'm talking about work habits, this means that you're going to have a consistent date and time that you're going to be working. So, for example, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or what have you. The benefit of having certain dates and times that you're going to work is so that when someone tries to distract you and try to rope you in into rearranging the sock drawer or whatever they have got going on, you're going to be able to respond by saying, "Sorry, I can't help you. I have work to do." So in addition to work habits, I'd also like to discuss really good, healthy exercise and sleep habits. I would say that a lot of agents have really bad sleep habits. And the reason why they have bad habits is because they weren't firm in terms of the days and times that they work. To have a really good, successful sleep habit, that would include going to bed at the same time. It's not about getting up at the same time, it's about going to bed at the same time. So if you have a consistent habit of going to bed at the same time, then you're going to have a consistent habit of waking up at the same time. You don't want to throw your body off by getting up and down all these different times. So develop a habit of getting consistent sleep by having a pattern of going to bed at the same time every evening. And you can develop a pattern of preparing for sleep. So, for example, if you want to get up at, say, 9 a.m. every day, then you need to develop the habit of being asleep by midnight every night. And that means preparing to go to bed at 11 p.m. And that also means that at 11 p.m. you're winding down. You've shut off all the media, you've already taken a shower, you're in bed, you're reading, you're winding down, going to sleep. I get up at a ridiculous hour, like at 4 a.m. Now, I'm not saying that you should get up at 4 a.m. What I am saying is that you should be consistent in terms of getting up and what time you're getting up so that you have a focused work habit. The reason why I get up at 4 a.m. is that no one's biting my ankles at 4 a.m. I'm getting a lot of work done. I get more work done between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. than most agents get done in a week. So now we kind of covered a brief synopsis of tools and your habits, and I want to go over some of the concepts of the leasing game before we get into some daily habits. The leasing game is all about volume, and a lot of your experienced agents who've been doing buying and selling for years can't wrap their mind around volume. They're only used to dealing with 1 or 2 clients a month, maybe 1 or 2 clients a week. In the leasing game, you're going to be playing with 20 people a day. So this is a high volume. And the reason why you have such a high volume of people is because 19 out of your 20 tenant leads don't qualify for a cupcake, and you don't want to play with them. There's only about 1 person out of 20 that you're going to take all the way to the finish line. So in the leasing game, I want to go over the concepts of the funnel. And the funnel is a lot of people so that at the bottom, at the end of each day, you get 1 gold nugget. The next concept that's really hard for a lot of people to wrap their minds around, in that because you have so many people, you don't want to deal with all of those people. In fact, you don't have time. If you took 20 phone calls a day, you would lose your mind. And because you don't have time to talk to 20 people, you're going to only focus on the ones that have a prayer in getting a rental. This is counter to a lot of experienced agents who are very used to the high customer service and the high touch and everyone's important and all that stuff. Well, in the leasing game, not everyone's important. In fact, 19 out of 20 of the people you talk to, you don't want to ever talk to again. And this is going to come down to managing your phone. We talked earlier about how phone management ties into this system. So in the business concept, I need you to let go of the fact that there's 19 out of 20 people you're never going to talk to again. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be rude to them. It just means you're going to ignore them. And ladies, you've been doing this since you were 14, so you know what I'm talking about. Those people, those guys that have been stalking you, well, guess what? These tenant leads are going to be stalking you as well. So when you get a tenant lead that doesn't have a prayer, you're just going to stiff arm them. You're not going to be rude. You just never get back to them. So what do you do with those 19 out of 20 leads? You do nothing. You don't ever put them in your phone. You don't ever follow up on them. Now, the one person that you spoke with but doesn't qualify or make a rental, who's got good credit and a potential buyer in the future, well, that person's going to go into your prospecting system. In the LVR, they have some free software called Prospects. That software is awesome. You can put them in your automatic drip system so that you can potentially help them buy property in the future. But those other 19, you're just going to let them go away. So this part of the video is going to talk about how to get 20 leads a day. It's a little bit of work to get 20 leads a day, and it's going to start with advertising. And how it starts is you have a daily habit of soliciting other rental properties that you can advertise. So every day you're going to find properties that are in your farm that you're going to reach out to the listing agent and ask them, hey, can I advertise your listing? I do want to address your farm for just a second. Your farm is the zip code that you live in. It's not the zip code that you want to live in. It's not the zip code your friends live in. It's not the zip code of the movie stars. It's the zip code you live in. And you're going to understand the importance of farming your zip code in the few minutes to come, because you're going to be spending a lot of time in that zip code. You don't have time to be driving across town in some other zip code. So for now, you're going to focus on your zip code. Maybe later in life you become more successful and you decide that you want to move into another zip code. That's another story. But for now, you're going to focus on your zip code, where you live, because it's close to you and you're able to focus and be an expert on your farm. So when you reach out to those listings that have rental properties, here's what you're going to look for. You're going to look for single-family homes, not condos. The reason why you want to look for single-family homes is because of time. If you've ever shown condos, you know what I'm talking about. Condos eat up a tremendous amount of time. You got to find the gate code. The gate code's always wrong. Then you got to find the building number, and it's on the other side, and the building numbers you can't see. You can spend an hour looking for one condo. So the number one reason why you don't want to advertise condos is you don't have enough time. So let's just focus on the single-family homes. The other benefit of single-family home is not only is it more optimal in terms of time, but the commissions are higher. That's right. We're here to make money. We're not here to be Mother Teresa. We're here to make commissions. So single-family homes have higher commissions than condos, and that's why you want to focus on single-family homes. Frankly, any property that has less than a $300 commission, you should stop playing with it anyway. So after you've found a single-family home, you want to look at the listing and look at the agent-to-agent remarks, and you want to look at the listing agent. What you're looking for initially is the brokerage that has the listing. Your franchise listings you can't play with. And it's not that they don't like you, it's just that in a part of their franchise agreement, they're not allowed to have other brokerages advertise their listing. Nothing personal. You just can't play with them. And by the way, I love franchises. They have a lot to offer. But in the leasing game, you can't play with franchises. So what you're looking for are the mom and pop brokerages. The brokerages you've never heard of before. And it's easy because you've never heard of it before. Now, you might have heard of it because it's in your farm, but the idea here is you're going to focus on the mom and pop brokerages, not the franchises. So once you have found a listing agent and the property that's going to suit you in your farm, you're going to reach out to them and ask them a very simple question. Mr. Listing Agent, can I advertise your property for rent? That property is right down the street from me, and I'd love to help you find an awesome tenant. Now, the good news is most listing agents have their hair on fire, and they would love for someone else to play with it. They're busy, and if you can go show the property, even better. But it's important that you get a confirmation. If you don't get a confirmation from that listing agent, you can get in trouble. So be sure to ask permission. If they say, yeah, no problem, then you're ready to rock. You're going to take that listing and you're going to advertise it in different areas. Probably the number one area that you can advertise a property is on Craigslist, and the second one is Facebook Marketplace. You can put those listings in that area. And you want to advertise those properties almost every day or update those ads every day. And the idea here is that you're going to get people calling on those ads. Those are going to be your leads. I promise you, if you get 5 properties that you're advertising every day, you're going to get at least 20, if not more. The idea here is that the more people that you get into that funnel, the more likely you're going to have gold at the bottom. In that worst case scenario, the listing agent tells you to bug off or doesn't respond to you at all. No worries. You either keep following up on them or you find another person. So the idea here is you want to find some properties that you can advertise. Your goal is to have 5 properties. So what you can do is you can be pretty tricky and put in the MLS system so that every time a property that becomes available for rent in your farm, it'll pop up on your MLS notification. So then you can respond right away, hey, Mr. Listing Agent, can I advertise your property? The nice thing is that they have all the photos for you and all the propaganda, so all you got to do is copy and paste that information in your advertising. Now, when you put that advertisement on that platform, be sure to include your license number. That's right, if you don't put your license number on there, the real estate division can fine you $1,000 per incident. It does happen. One of my leasing agents did that, made the mistake, cost him a couple of grand. Don't make that mistake. So when you put an advertisement out there, make sure you include your license. A real bonus is at the bottom in very small print, put the listing agent's name as well as their license number and their brokerage. Not only is this going to give you credibility that you're advertising a proper listing, but also it'll keep you out of trouble, and it's really the polite thing to do. When you do your advertising, not only are you going to include advertising for the photos of that property, you're also going to put your photo on there. That's right, your smiley face. By putting your smiley face on that photo, it's going to give the people that call you more confidence that you're not some scam artist. So by having your name, your brokerage, your license number, you're going to lend credibility for people calling you. There are a lot of scams here in Las Vegas, and you want to eliminate and make sure you separate yourself from those scammers. Another tip for you is the MLS provides you a free webpage, right? You've already bought it. All those monthly dues that you pay, and included in that is the page. So on the MLS, there is a area on MLS, and when you click on your edit page, you can navigate to your web page. And on that web page, it'll give you a unique URL that you can use in your advertising. You definitely want to keep that URL handy, because not only are you going to be able to use that in your advertising, but you're also going to use that link when you go to responding to tenants. And this is super helpful. Again, it's going to mitigate the chance that the tenants are thinking that you're some fraudster or some scammer. I need to emphasize one more time, if you post 5 ads a day, your phone will blow up. You'll get lots of leads. And the idea here is the more leads, the more you can filter out the crap and get the gold.